Good evening. So last session we had the goal setting process. I hope you had some time to look at the list, what we all noted down last time, and set some goals on your own. So before we proceed further on this, one update is that Mr. Sukdeepak sir said that these two sessions are additional sessions. So he will cover anyway 21 sessions. So what we had on Wednesday and today, this is extra sessions. That is what he told. So what we can do today is that we can go through some of the goals if you have come out with. We can just each one of you talk about it and then get some feedback from others. And then I have something additional to say about what is that we can learn from the business or corporates. So let's get started. If any of you would like to share your goals, which you might have already worked on or fine-tuned based on Wednesday session, it will be nice to go through that.
Rama, one question.
Yes,
This presentation you have not sent by email or something, no?
I not send? Oh, okay. No, presentation I didn't send. Yeah,
Yeah, fine.
I,
Maybe if possible, please do send
I
so
can
that.
send it. I can
Yeah,
send it.
please,
No
please.
issues. I can
Thank you.
send it in WhatsApp itself.
Oh, nice, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, but I sent the recording
Yeah,
last.
recording we got it, but the presentations would be basis that we could have prepared actually, at least for my from my side.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
right. No issues. I can send that.
Mr. Rama, shall
Yes,
I say?
yes, yes, sir.
See, primary, I am from the Wise Group company. I'm a CEO or founder. We got the four company, Wellbeing Forever, Insurance Auditor, Super Success, and Education, where we are designing a marketplace for the purpose of education, training, and development.
Right.
And incidentally, I'm also learning about the leverage and being in the path of energy healing and education for many years. We are having in the next week global summit for the energy healing purpose. And with the resources that are available to me and with the global summit my presence,
Mm-hmm.
I'm committing myself to take this project ahead the globally. Initially
Okay.
with the 30 countries, and the date is the 23rd, 24th, and 26th of the October.
Right.
So this is the resources which is available to me immediately, which
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking for last many years.
Right.
Which I'm putting the practice, and along with that, I'm going to for design the education marketplace which will be working in those 30 countries initially,
Okay.
and the funding available from them, which I will be using, we require the funding of around at least 3 to 5 CR for insurance broking outfit. The fund generated in around 6 months' time will be utilized to set up a broking company in the India.
Mm-hmm.
Aha. And today we got our website also wellbeingforever.in, and we are going to set up a education setup and setup specially for the super success for each and everybody in the India and globally.
That's
So
great.
unfortunately, due to this Corona and COVID, whatever we say, it is a presented one opportunity for each and everybody to look virtually everything. No,
Right.
so one way we can sleep over the issues, and second way we can find a solutions for the
Correct.
going next.
Yeah.
We are working on the second module.
Yeah.
This is something which I have
That,
designed.
that's great initiative and great goal, sir.
Yeah, right. We'll be present all over the world in a 1 year time. By the March 22, we'll be present in 170 countries worldwide.
Okay. That's
So
great.
I'm doing the collaborations and the joint
Okay.
ventures.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Right. Excellent, sir. That's amazing goal. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Same to you
Okay.
to all the participants here, those who are here and those who are also not here also. And possibly we can collaborate internally also to take the business of each and everybody ahead.
Sure. If anybody is interested, of course, they can
I
talk to
can
you.
support the other businesses also,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Vijay sir, you can just share us your website link or something so that we can also go through and see how best we can able to get collaborated.
Okay, sure. What business you are into, Mr. Rajesh Chakni?
I'm Praveen speaking.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Praveen. My bad.
I'm working for Bosch.
Okay, BOSH.
Yeah.
I think that is
BOSCH.
a German company.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, into technology.
Yeah, it's a technology.
Great. Sure,
Please do share
sure.
your
Yeah, you can.
activities. Yeah, so that it's we can just look ahead and see how best we can
Yeah,
get
right now
collaborated.
the information is not completely there, but definitely I can share you also separately. Sure. Thank you very much for doing
Yeah,
this.
you all have the contacts, so can
Yes.
do that. And okay, who else would like to share the goals, whatever you came out with? You can share only top 3 goals if you like.
Hi, Rama, good evening.
Good evening, Pradeep sir.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yes, all good. Session is already started or about to start?
We started. We are going through based on Wednesday's session. If any of you have come out with your goals, or even before whatever the goals you may have, you could share here. Let's briefly go through that.
Okay.
Or any questions on the goal setting process? Let's address that as well.
Mr. Rama, I think it could be appreciable if we offer some kind of a template, no? For each and every thing can become a kind of a standard and become easy to carry forward. At the same time, to follow up on the goals become a rather easy task.
Yeah, so this goal one is whatever my personal goals I shared, you could use that as
Yeah,
the
I
base.
went through you.
And then you can add to that, of course. That is only a base template. You can add to that actually.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thankful to each and everybody because lots of people came to website and downloaded that mindset booklet. In the next
Yeah.
3 days, we'll be putting one more book on the psychology of success
Okay.
and psychology of the goal setting also.
Right. Okay. So anybody wants to share the goals?
Yeah, I can do that, Rama, if you want.
Yes, Karandeep. That will be good.
I'll try to share my screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you have disabled.
Yeah, you can share now.
Okay, just 1 minute. Huh?
Yeah.
Let me know if you're able to see the screen.
Yeah, it's coming. Yes.
Okay. So what I've done is that I have categorized this into goals, then the outcome, the process which is basically needed, and then definitely the review mechanism, which is maybe on a weekly or a fortnightly basis, I can review these goals. So the first one definitely is my main career goal, which is my facility management and property management. So I have now more than 18 plus years experience. I was earlier working as a senior director for JLL, and now I'm working for Embassy Services. And by 2022, like I mentioned, the outcome is that I want to get a position as the RE head in a global organization. So the process for that, I've made it. What all I need to do, like I need to still enhance more technical knowledge on the higher side of the equipments like chiller, DG sets, PMC jobs, and all. So I mentioned here the targets also like spend 2 hours a month on practical technical knowledge. So while there is a technical upgradation, but what you say as a back to basics, going on the ground and remembering what all you have learned earlier. So I want to spend 2 hours a month on this. Enhance more on my PPD skills, at least spend 2 hours a month on upgradation on the same, and how I can upgrade my knowledge on the technology usage in FM. So at least spend 1 hour per month on the upgrading this knowledge. On the behavioral change, I mentioned like more absorbing and balancing approach. Sometimes in a meeting when there is too much of pressure from the customers, while with the customers always there is a thin line, but internally not to react much in pressure. And that is a coaching which I'm already under the coaching of Mr. Sukdeep Agonse. The other thing in terms to achieve this success I mentioned is in my current organization, how I can achieve more success, especially in these tough times, is by getting more business deals for my company. And I want 2 BD closures in 2020. Ideally, I've already achieved this. For this year has been very good for us. So we have already done this, and 5 BD closures in 2021. So the process for that, like I mentioned, is to enhance the BD Connect, at least 2 virtual presentations in a month and three new connects per week with prospective clients, and also monitor the self KRA on a monthly basis and track the progress of my objectives against the target and timelines. That is the KRAs which I've agreed with my management, which I will deliver this year.
So Karandeep, you said you are working for JLL, right?
I was earlier working for JLL. I left JLL. Now I'm working as a senior DGM for Embassy.
Embassy, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, please go on.
Second is on the other passion, which is my Astro Karan and coaching. So Astro Karan is a page which is run by my social media people. So here my main goal is that I want at least 3 celebrity clients by December 2020. So already 2 are in the list already there, and 1 more I need to achieve by December, and at least get a 1 lakh revenue per month other than my job effective January 2021, in which includes both Astro consultancy and teaching, and 1 TV program to get on air. So I'm trying if I can be for some time in Big Boss. So let us see if that goes through this year. And so my process is that instant Facebook social media promotion to continue for next 5 years. So this has already started. There is a page which is running, and there's a huge promotion based on the content which I release, and video content promotion. So there is an Insta channel also, Insta account, and a YouTube channel where all the promotions are basically being done. 1 lakh followers on Insta account. That is another thing. And then I did some, I want to do some upgradation on my healing courses. So Reiki level 3, I concluded this September. I want to do one more thing on my Lal Kitab enrollment, which I mentioned in Q4 2020. So then this is so the column number D is the process, how I will get to the outcome of this. And then this is the goal.
Right.
And then finally on the health front, I have to do my weight reduction. I've already lost around 4 kgs in last 15-20 days when I started getting the coaching under Sukhdeepak. So I'm following a set health program now, and I wish to get 98 kg by end of 30th November. And then 90 kg is my target by March 2021. There is a health history in our family, so I need to maintain my BP. And for that, I've written what all I need to do is like sleep minimum 8 hours sound every day, take less stress, half-yearly heart checkup, and wellness holidays 2 times per year in 2021. So these are my top 3 goals, which is of health, alternate career, and my main career, which I wanted to share.
Excellent. I think that alternate career is really superb.
I don't know when. Yeah, but you need a lot of time in this. That's the only.
Yeah, I know. It's not easy. Yeah.
Randeep,
Anything else beyond this?
So I have some other goals on spirituality and relationships and all. So those are so like spirituality is how I can actually so spiritual development is basically how I can get more good karmas and what all CSR projects I want to do. Right. And how I can upgrade myself in Reiki, when I will do that. So like I've written that enroll for Master Reiki in Q1 2021. So I've given some target timelines to everything. Okay. And then like for financial, I want my corpus to be at least 10 crore plus in next 3 years. Excellent. So how I can do that. So there are certain, so for that I've mentioned that how I can increase my SIP part-time, and also if I can do something on the brokerage business because I'm already into real estate. So how I can do that. And definitely let's see how it goes. So
that's good. It's excellent. I think you have covered the major goals. Thank you for showing this.
Rama,
yes, sir.
To Mr. Karandeep, you've done some wonderful homework you've done. I really appreciate. By the way, Mr. Sudhi Malava also told about your numerology and astro and other things. We are having the Global Wellness Forum Sumit in the 23rd, 24th, 25th October 2020.
Where is that?
It will be on the virtual. People from the 30 countries are organizing this. If you text me your number or put to the chat, I will send you the detailed information, the website and the invitation also.
Sure,
Sir,
I'll do that.
sir, you can as well put it in our WhatsApp group also.
Fine.
If anybody else is interested, they may also participate.
Fine.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll do that. Thank you.
By the way, I'm also into the healing. So, आपने जो कर्म की जो बात की है ना, मैं भी एक साउंड हीलिंग में हूँ, स्पिरिचुअल हीलिंग में मैं भी हूँ, और काफी सालों से इसको मैं फॉलो कर रहा हूँ. So we are taking this project in 30 countries, and within 1 year, by the March 22, we'll be present in worldwide. So definitely we'll take your support also.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Great.
Thank you. Thanks for your inputs, Mr. Vijay.
Yeah, thank you, Karandeep. It's really, you covered the key areas in the wheel of life
Thank you.
and in very detail. Thank you. Right. Anybody else would
Rama,
like to?
one question from my side. Now we have seen your goals, and Karan also has put his goals. Now, if
Right.
we just take this as an examples, do you feel yes, this format is absolutely right, or you feel something else that we need to do it?
No, you can definitely add few more
No,
details.
adding is fine, but the
But
methodology is what
this
is
is perfect. I think the base
perfect.
is perfect. Base
Right,
is
right.
perfect. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else would like to share their goals? So just to announce, what Mr. Sudeepak sir said is that the Wednesday session and today's session are additional sessions. So he will cover 21 sessions. So he will take 2 more sessions additionally. Yeah. So these 2 are additional sessions. So he will have 21 sessions without any issues.
Okay, great.
Anybody else?
Apart from this, setting the goal is very, very important. But at the same time, also, I'm also going to, I don't still implement it right now. I'm going to design my action plan also, no? My
Yeah,
action
absolutely.
plan, my team, and
Absolutely.
everything.
This is only a starting point. This is only a
Starting.
starting point.
Right.
After that, we have to detail out, take each goal as a project, and then detail out in terms of work breakdown structure and what are the dependencies, what is the detailed plan of action, various dates. So there are quite a few things one needs to work on.
Right.
Milestones. Okay. So if nobody else is ready, I would like to present one more thing. Then after that, we can talk about the accountability partner or the buddy system we talked about. We can decide that as well. So before that, let me present to you something what I thought about, follow up on the goals. So what I would like to see show is that personal improvement lessons from business. So now, whatever we talked about goal and the strategic planning, this is typically taken out from the corporate environment, from the business environment. Even Sudeepak sir is primarily corporate trainer. Recently, because of COVID, he fine-tuned and started training the individuals as well. So in that light, what I thought is, what else we can learn from the business? Okay, so look at this. So these are the parameters, typically the business or corporate uses. From that, what family or the individual can use? Vision. So the vision is clearly defined for most of the corporates, defined and articulated, and they keep talking about it. So similarly, we can define vision or vision for the individual or for the family as well. Yeah. So this is a very good thing to do. This is what we can learn from the business, and we can do that. In fact, I have defined some time. So similarly, mission is clearly defined and articulated for the business, but for the personal or family, it is not done. But this is the opportunity for us to start looking at it. Values, again, for the corporates, it is clearly defined and articulated. But for the individual and the family, it is not articulated, but generally followed from the family, society, friends, and community, and fine-tuned to individual, mostly unconsciously. So it may be a good idea to bring it out consciously, because some of the values are what to say, very limiting, and limiting values. We can remove them, and some of the good values, of course, we should continue. We could add some more additional values with the latest global trends, and the way we are in the modern world. Strategies, again, clearly defined for each business. Like last time we talked about briefly Amazon, what is their strategy, or Uber, what is their strategy at the top level. So similarly, we can have our own strategy. For example, if I am good at a particular way of working, then that is my strategy. Or there are certain strengths I have, I could use that as the strategy instead of doing the same thing in same way like others are doing. I may do it differently based on my strengths and my strategies. Typically, the corporates define their strategies clearly. And goals we just talked about on Wednesday, and right now, Karandeep has given really very good example of his goals. So now we started thinking about working on the goals, so we could work on all other things as well. So similarly, profile, typically corporates used to have their profile published either in the olden days in brochures, now in the website, and everywhere all over the social media. And similarly, the individuals, we do have visiting card and resume, all those things, but we can also start preparing one page kind of profile. Canva is a good tool for us to prepare that kind of thing. And of course, we can have our own websites, our own Facebook page. um, LinkedIn is anyways there, so we can put out our profile as well in the social media. And then, of course, your own website or your own social media. That is what is profile and website and social media. Okay, so the concept of CEO in the corporate or business is very clear. And in the family environment also, it is kind of informally done, but it can be formalized, because in the olden culture, I think in Indian culture, the CEO is the husband typically, but it need not be. It can be wife. So that should be explicitly discussed and then defined. And similarly, the COO, who is the chief operations officer, CFO, who's in charge for the finance, to run the finance for the family. And how do you really take care of the complete finance? Like in the corporate, the finances, every quarter the financial statements are published, like income, expense, profit and loss, cash flow, all those things. It's important that okay, so any questions on this slide?
Perfect, sir. And especially when you put COO as a wife only, it's classic.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the experts in any case.
Yes. But if there's a profile, websites are needed for the family.
Not for family, individual.
Okay, sir.
So these are some of the things we can learn from business, good things to learn from business and practice. Okay, so specifically on finance, you can designate one person, husband or wife, whoever, as the person who's responsible for the finance. So finance is not only the income and expense, it is also your investment, your cash flow. So I think it is important to do budgeting, and more important to really look at your income and expense on a regular basis. For the corporates, it is done quarterly, but I think it may be a good idea to do it for the family in a monthly basis. For example, what I do is I just take the statement from internet banking in XLS. I download it, and then I add few columns, and then I derive my complete income and expense from each of the bank account, and then consolidate all of them together, and it gives a very good picture on what is your monthly expense and monthly income, and what is the overall position. And also you can detail out saying that in which category there is more expense, where it is less. So it gives very good insight. So it's easy to do. The thing is, now we have all the required data, tools, and all the convenience and facilities to do this. It doesn't take much time, and it gives a lot of clarity and insight into your finance. Because why I'm talking about finance, because that is where typically people assume certain things, or they don't have required knowledge. It may be a good idea to learn that from the business environment and follow that more rigorously in personal life as well. And similarly, profit and loss, you can look at it basically beyond before profit liability. So what's your asset? In fact, if some of you have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, he clearly defines what is asset. Asset is the one which generates money for you, right? So if you have a house, if you have bought a house and you are staying there, it doesn't generate money for you. So that you need not classify as the asset. Whereas if you have bought the house and it is rented out and you get rental income every month, then that you can consider as the asset. Or you buy car, that doesn't give you money, right? It doesn't give you money. It only takes away money to maintain it. So that is not asset, that is liability. So you can look at what are all your assets. So it is important to build your assets. See, that's the problem. Many people go and buy the assets thinking that it is the asset, but actually they keep spending more and more money on maintaining that asset. But the real asset is that you buy it and then it should start generating periodic income for you. That is the real asset. Okay, so look at asset and liabilities, and then based on the income and expense and assets and liabilities, you can derive your profit and loss. And then cash flow. Cash flow is that you may have a lot of asset, but if it doesn't generate money on a regular basis, or it is illiquid like your real estate, there is a cash flow issue. So you have to make sure that there is a sufficient cash flow on a regular basis. So this is what I wanted to share on what we can learn from corporate and implement in our personal life. Right, so any comments or questions on this?
Yeah, Rama, Abhishek this side.
Yes, Abhishek.
Yeah, two things. One, what Karan mentioned is about how we need to approach the goals. So that is something I think is generally part of the complete template of the strategic planning.
Mm-hmm.
And another important part is the capabilities in hand. So for any existing company to reach to a certain goal, what is the present situation?
Correct.
And in accordance to that, what are the associated processes which we have, which we generally say in our corporate terms as management systems.
Right.
So these three things I think are very essential for a template in the strategic planning process.
Yes, but we can get started in a simple way, Abhishek.
Yeah.
then we can make it no, much more detailed and all those things. So right now, I think it is important to get started.
All right. Okay.
The last time also, Mr. Vijay was saying we can include the SWOT analysis, your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So that is very much applicable for us individually and as a family as well. So let's no, include that into.
Yeah, generally these are part in the strategic planning as a capability study.
Correct.
So-
Capabilities, very much, very much. Now, in
So
fact,
where-
we did cover in Wednesday also, we did cover that. What is your expertise area?
Yeah.
No, that will give you certain things on what goal to set.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. Those things can be, should be looked at and can be added. But important thing is to get started with the basic thing in mind, and then we can get add all those things and
Yeah.
make it much more robust. Okay, anybody else?
Hello.
Yes, Shweta.
Hi, Rama. I have a question.
Yeah.
Suppose we have a goal and how we can include this SWOT analysis to particular goal. Can you give some example for this?
Yeah, sure. So SWOT analysis is to understand what's
Yeah.
your strength and weakness, and also what is the opportunity in front of you and the threats in terms of your risk probably. So these are all, once you
Okay.
analyze, first you do this analysis of your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So that will give you
Okay.
input, that will give you input on what could be your goal, which you can achieve. Which, for example, when you list out all your strengths, you know these are all your strengths, and that is probably area you can achieve some goals. So you can set some goals and achieve that. So similarly, when you list out your weakness, you know that certain weakness, it is okay, it doesn't matter, right? But certain other weakness is very important, because if unless you improve that, you may not be able to really achieve what you want to achieve. So in those kind of things, you should start setting some goals on how do you improve on your weakness, but not all of them. You don't need to improve on all the weakness, but
Okay.
some things which are going to be detrimental and which are going to really be on the way of your day-to-day life or achieving certain things, you have to start improving on that and set that as the goal. So similarly, there is an opportunity. There are list of opportunities. There is a no, for example, in this pandemic time, the
Yeah.
opportunity is to start online business, right?
Yeah.
So then you should set some goals towards that opportunity.
Yes.
So similarly, if threat or risk, so then you have to see how to protect that threat, or how to do the risk mitigation. So that is how when you do this SWOT analysis, it will give you the pointers for you to set goals. That is how it is linked, Shweta.
Okay. How can we evaluate the risk? Suppose we have a goal. Suppose one person has a goal that he or she wants to become a CEO of a XYZ company. Okay, he identifies his strength and weaknesses and the opportunity he's looking for, and what are the risks can be associated with this
Okay, so the
and threat.
risk can be of multiple kinds. For example, the risk can be the environment itself, right? So, for example, if you wanted to do something, so you set some goal in your hospitality or restaurant business,
Okay.
and the pandemic is there, and it is a big risk, right? It is an environmental risk, right?
Okay.
If any such environmental risk like this comes up, how do you handle it? What is the alternative, right? So that is expecting what environmental changes can create problem for me, right, in that particular goal.
Okay. So we need to just keep ready the backup or the alternate plan for this, you mean to
Yes.
say, to handle the risk?
Exactly. That is a risk mitigation. So identify the risk and what is the risk mitigation. So it could be online food delivery, for example. If you wanted to start the restaurant and there is a pandemic, but during pandemic also people need food. So instead of depending only on the restaurant, can you make it as online delivery as well? So that is one possible mitigation, but there could be more. So that is environmental factors. The risk in environment is one. Second, there is a risk in your own situation, your own capabilities, your own related things, yourself and your family related, or so that, like that you can find out the risk. For example, competition. If there is a huge competition, that is a risk. So in that case, what will you do differently? What is your unique selling proposition? So that has to be different for risk mitigation. Yeah. So does it give some clue, Shweta?
Yes, of course, very much. Thank you.
Rama sir.
Yes, sir.
This is Khurram.
Yes, Khurram.
Rama sir, her question about Shweta, that about the employment. If someone wants to be the CEO in any company, so what can be the risk in to achieve this target?
Okay. So again, let me list out at two levels. One is at your personal level, whether you are keeping abreast of the latest things in your domain, where you want to become a CEO. If not, how do you rectify that? Or even your health. How is your health? Because if your health is not good, then there is a risk, right? You cannot really become a CEO because it is a responsible and a high pressure job. So, and your capabilities. If your capabilities are not good in some, you are great at many things, but one particular area which is important for the CEO, if it is not there, then that is a risk. You have to start improving on that, mitigate that risk, right? And more importantly, how do you basically in your organization, how you are positioned? How are you? How is your relationship with the top guys or the team? So that is also important factor to look at it. And more also at the industry level. At the industry level, is there any impact, right? So, for example, during the pandemic, the oil industry, there was a issue, right? It is gone down. So that may not be the time for you to really get into that because there may not be the possibility if it is 6 months, 1 year, in that period you wanted to become the CEO, you may not because the whole company is just waiting. So such environment factors as well as your own personal factors, and then the office environment, your own family environment, whether your family is in a good position to support you, all those things you have to look at it.
Fine, got it.
Okay, any other questions or comments? So anybody else would like to show your goals? If you have, or even if you have not listed out, but you just want to talk about it, You don't need to share, but you can, if you want to talk about it, if you have noted down in your notebook or whatever, you can talk about it.
Yes, Rama. This is Rajasekaran.
Yes, Rajasekaran.
The goal exercise, as per the format you shown and Karandeep shown, I did not complete it, but prior to that, I have the goal. The year beginning, I started the goal, but it is not properly followed up. It means, as you suggested, weekly or quarterly, that kind of follow up is not there. Whenever time permit, I took up the goals. Basically, for finance, I kept for individual goals like retirement fund and the kids education fund, kids college fund, like that. 3-4 finance goal I had.
Okay.
And also I invested in 2 of the startup companies along with my friends. So the entrepreneurship goal is how to make this company successful.
Right.
One is both are operating in Chennai, so that is one thing.
Right.
And the health goal. 3-4 years back, I used to be active in playing shuttlecock or volleyball, but nowadays physical activities are not there. So I made a point of walking
Right.
600 steps, 6,000 steps per day.
Okay.
On an average 3 to 4 days minimum per week. So that is regarding the health goal. Then family, as a unit, family to be developed. We are the family of 3 grandparents. My grandparents from father's side is 3 brothers and sisters. And down the line, we have like 40-50 people we have. But we are not any time we not gathered in a single time, a single place. So I thought of arranging the unit family events or kind of communication between all the members of this family. So that is one goal I had it. So these are all the 3-4 major goal I had it for 2020.
Excellent. Yeah.
Maybe this what you shown and Karandeep shown, this way I will elaborate more with the follow up and the when to be reviewed, all the things I will do it.
Yeah. So as I showed in that strategic planning, creating some habits, basic habits, which will help in achieving many goals is very, very critical.
Yeah.
Right. So to achieve any goal, you should have very good health, obviously, right? So then if you want to have very good health, certain things have to be followed on a daily basis.
Yes.
So more and more, some of the good and fundamental habits you have and practice it on a daily basis, it will allow you to really achieve many more goals.
Yeah. Usually what I used to do it is this goal at the year beginning or the year end of the previous year, I used to write it, and weekly basis I used to recall, not really in the documents, I recall from the memory, and I see where we are, what we have to do. So at least I will recall the goals, that way I do it. But now from your presentation, this presentation, I got the mechanism to review regularly.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Rajasekaran.
Thank you,
Rama, I have one question here.
Yes.
Okay, so suppose for a beginner, what the ideal financial goal he should set, like how it should be for the future and how the planning should be. Can you please just elaborate a bit?
Yeah, sure. So see, the idea of financial goal is there are multiple components involved in it. Okay. So let's look at one by one. First and foremost, you should have, it is also kind of risk mitigation, you know. So you are the person who's earning for the family, right? So if something happens to your life, there is a cutoff of the complete income, right? So the mitigation is having a life insurance. So that is the first and foremost, right? So having a good life insurance plan is very, very important. So that is one financial goal. Second, if again, one is life itself, the other one is any medical issues. If there is a, you know, nowadays with the modern things, so many issues coming up. So having a medical insurance is another important thing, another important financial goal. Life insurance, medical insurance. Next one is, let's say for whatever the reason, temporarily you are not able to go and work, you should have some emergency fund to handle your 6 to 9 months without even working. Even if you're not working for 6 to 9 months, you should have sufficient emergency fund in place for you to handle your day-to-day life. So this emergency fund should be in what to say, it should be in liquid form, in the sense it can be in your savings account, it can be in your fixed deposit, it can be in your liquid funds in mutual funds. Okay, so that are in liquid base in your stocks. So that is within 1 or 2 or 3 days you should be able to withdraw that. But if you have these funds in your real estate, you cannot get it immediately. It will take years also to get it. Or you have it in stocks, it may be a wrong time to withdraw because it might have gone into, for example, in pandemic during March, April, it went down 40%, 50%. And that is the time you need money, you cannot go and redeem it.
Correct.
So the emergency fund should be in liquid and safe form, right? Which I talked about: savings, fixed deposit, liquid funds in mutual funds, liquid base in stocks. These are the possible places to keep. So we said life insurance, medical insurance, emergency fund, right?
Yes.
So next one is your savings and investment. So savings and investment is on top of these things. So savings is relatively safe thing, but it is not going to give you too much of return. So if you're keeping it in your savings account or FD, it is there, but it is not sufficient return. It will not give you. It will not even.
Yeah, it will not give the returns of it.
Yeah, it will not even meet your inflation. Inflation is 7%, whereas you will get 4%, 3% from no return. So that is of almost your your money is decaying, right? So in that case,
Yeah.
you have to go into other investments, like it could be gold. No, gold, you don't need to put physical gold and buy it. That is more riskier. You can go for the gold index funds, gold government bonds. Those are all one thing. Okay, gold is one asset class, right?
Yeah.
The other asset class could be mutual funds. So there you don't need to select which is the right stock, all those things. The mutual fund manager selects multiple stocks and then he invests in that, and then the mutual fund grows. That is again, you should look at long term as well.
Okay.
So in mutual fund, there are multiple categories. There is a debt fund, there is a equity fund, there is an index fund, there is multiple categories. But at least the top level, you should look at debt fund, equity fund, and index fund. So what is index fund? It is similar to mutual fund. Instead of one stock, the index contains multiple stocks. For example, Nifty 50 is top 50 companies in India. I'm talking about Indian context. So those 50 companies put together, they offer us index. So like that. Okay. So mutual funds, these are the 3 top level categories, but there are so many other complexities. The next asset classes, your equity or stocks. So there it is a little bit, you should understand this a little bit more. You should know what is the kind of company, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, all those things you should know. Then you can invest in, again, in stocks, you can invest short term, medium term, or long term. So that is something you should look at it. Again, in the stocks, you have index funds again. So instead of individual stocks, you could as well invest in index stocks, right? So there is a banking index, there is a auto index, there is a IT index, there is a Nifty 50, there is a Sensex, right? Those are all simple to invest, and it is automatically diversified. You don't need to go and pick up multiple stocks, right? When you are going individual equity, then you have to do diversification. You have to keep looking at the trend, look at what happens to the industry, to the company, and all those things. But if you go with the index fund, it is relatively easy to make it. So we talked about gold, mutual fund, equity, and the other one is obviously real estate. So real estate is more illiquid, but if you really do it properly, you can really do wonders in that. So you get very good loan, you have very good tax advantage if you play it well in real estate. But many people go and buy at a high valuation, and then it is not increasing and it is not giving regular income. So that is also a drawback. And obviously the biggest drawback is illiquid. If you want the funds immediately, you may not get it. But still, it is a very good investment if you do it intelligently, right? So then there is commodities. It is an international stuff, but this requires a lot more understanding, a lot more focus and work on that. But it is also a very good investment. Of course, gold itself is a commodity. The top 3-4 commodities are gold, silver, oil, and food items. These are the top commodities which one can trade or invest. So that's what I would say, Shweta.
Rama, very well said. Actually, I can also give 1 or 2 inputs if you want here, Shweta.
Yes, please. Yes, Karandeep, go on.
Because I'm basically from the real estate consultancy side, and see, what Rama told you is absolutely correct. One is the insurance at your age, right? And when you talk about insurance, I would suggest you always have a term insurance rather than going for any other insurance, because term insurance is something which is always going to protect you, right? And it's going to be less costlier as compared to the LIC insurance, because insurance means is not return. Insurance is to basically protect you. And secondly, what Rama has told is very correct. Mediclaim insurance is very important. While you may work in a particular company, but you don't know when in the crisis, if the job goes, you should have your personal Mediclaim insurance, and you should definitely cover your parents in that. That's very, very important, because there the risk is more. I would suggest you, for all the mutual funds and these things, you should hire a financial consultant who can help you with your goals, right? And you should build a goal of maybe 10 or something years, where you can build a retirement corpus. So like Rama told, you should have more, since you're young now, you should have more of risk appetite at this age, right? So it's a very simple formula, that 100 minus whatever is your age. Let's say if your age is 30. So if you're saying 100 minus 30, that is 70. So you should have 70% in equity of what all investment you are going to do. And then 30% can be in debt instruments, like what Rama told, maybe an FD or something like that. And you should try to have at least 30 to 40% of your income as your saving at this age. 40% is a good benchmark. There are people I've seen below 30 years who even have up to 50% as a saving investment and saving both. So it's increasing today with the youngsters, right? So that should be your target. And hire a good financial consultant who can give you a good appetite of mutual funds, which can include both the risk taking and other things. In terms of real estate, my main advice to you is never ever go in your life for under construction properties. Okay. Any time when you want to buy something which is ready to move in, because there is a lot of issues which people had, and this is going to remain in India, because real estate people don't have that amount of liquidity today, and even if they have, they are holding their own this thing. So never go for an under construction property. And real estate is again a good investment at a young age if you want to do it. Okay, but ensure that you get a proper risk assessment done. It is good to pay 10,000 rupees to a particular consultant, right? Because when you pay to a consultant, the amount of return he will give you for that 10,000 rupees, it will be really be worthwhile, right? So get your proper risk assessment done. Have a home which will give you where you can live also, and which if you don't want to live there, it can give you good returns also. But today in this scenario, I will still suggest you keep the home option as a secondary. It is better to first focus on a retirement corpus, which is very important, like a minimum 10 years horizon, because inflation is increasing. So you need to have that retirement corpus with you. That is very, very important. So have more equity, 100 minus whatever your age, hire a financial consultant. I think these 3-4 things you keep in your mind for investments, and never go for any lucrative deals, right? Money never comes like that. There are now, I'm seeing there are certain messages coming in various groups that you invest in this much, you will get 20-30% return. It never actually happens, right? And be away from the under construction properties. That's all my advice to you.
Karandeep,
Thank
just
you.
one thing.
Thank you, Karandeep. Rajesh, just hold on that. I'll come back to you. So Shweta, just to add to what Karandeep said and a few more investment areas. So real estate, there are two forms. One is the physical real estate. Recently, there is a REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust, right? So this is like equity. It is like stock. You can buy, like you buy a stock, you can buy REIT. And interestingly, what Karandeep is working, so his company, Embassy, offers a REIT. And one more REIT recently launched, Mindspace. So these two are very good
There's
real
too
estate.
much disturbance all around. I cannot hear you.
Yeah, I muted. So
Yeah,
these two are good REIT. This is, you understand this, right? It is like equity. It
Yes,
is like
yes.
buying stocks, right? So
Yeah.
that is on real estate. The other areas of investment is on business, like Rajashekharan was saying. He has invested in startup business. So that is another good option to really invest in a very good business, which can really grow, and you can get very good returns. One
For
more
the real
area.
estate, I have one question.
Yes.
Suppose we want to buy a property, like just Karandeep said, never go for the under construction property. If we don't want to live there, we are just investing as an investment. So can we buy a plot or something under construction property? Is it worth?
You can, but in real estate, there are
the
three important factors, Shweta. It is location, location,
Yeah.
and location. Right?
Okay.
So
I'll keep
you
in
should-
mind. this
Yes,
thing.
you should buy property
Location.
such a way that it is really going to be.
It should be growing area.
Yeah,
you
one is
mean?
in valuation, but more importantly, look at the periodic return.
Okay.
Sama,
Yes, sir.
being in the field of insurance for last 45 as an insurance auditor and the broker, I can support is a very simple thing. The way unfortunately the people are who are not well, even for the fever, there could be different cause. Symptoms may be similar, the cause could be different. So one simple medical policy does not suit all. A policy from a company, and suppose somebody is with the corona, require hyperbaric oxygen therapy. None of the government insurance company provides for that claim. There is a company which is a well-known company. I can't tell you on this platform, which is getting recorded. Company mentions the person is doing an artificial ventilation. If he or she expires, claim will not be become payable. Very big leading company director who suffered for H1N1 swine flu around 1 year back. This report in the Times of India. I got the link of the same also. Spent rupees 73 lakhs rupees for the treatment. Unfortunately, company gave only 16 lakhs balance money was not paid. because the person who was under the treatment and went for the ventilation unfortunately expired, and the expense was close to 15-7 lakhs was not paid. So many company also saying we'll give you only for the single private room. So there are lots of fine prints before which people are not aware. So better to deal with the insurance broker who well versed, who are very expert in the claim settlement. Don't go for the
Absolutely.
people who sell, people who
Absolutely.
settle.
Yes, yes. In
So
fact, the important factor to look at is the settlement ratio whenever you choose any.
no, sorry, not the settlement ratio. आपको क्या चाहिए? कंपनी समझो 100% देती है, 98% देती है, लेकिन किसी को ब्लड प्रेशर है तो मार्केट में 4 टाइप की पॉलिसी मिलती है. अ पॉलिसी विच कवर द रिस्क फ्रॉम डे वन, other policy for after 1 year, second say after 2 years, third say after 3 years, fourth say after 4 years, right?
Right.
It suits you. Its main thing is the important disclosure of the information concerning the health.
Correct.
Lot of people says कि मेरे को बीपी है, छोटी गोली खाता हूँ, कोई तकलीफ होती नहीं, मुझे डिस्क्लोज नहीं करना है. आज के पेपर में जी न्यूज में आया है कि आपने कोई डिस्क्लोज नहीं किया है, क्लेम आ गया, you will be blacklisted by IRDA based upon your PAN card and other number. In the lifetime you don't get the policy at all. ये रिकॉर्ड फ्यूचर में सिबिल में जाएगा, आप कहीं लोन लेने को जाएंगे, यू विल बी मार्क एज अ पर्सन हु इज विद नॉट मोरल हैजार्ड, उसको लोन भी शायद नहीं मिलेगी. तो इट्स बेटर कि हम सब कुछ डिस्क्लोज करें, थोड़ा पैसा एक्स्ट्रा भर दे, लेकिन जब भी क्लेम आए तभी वी गेट द पीस ऑफ माइंड. दिस इज फंडामेंटली इंपॉर्टेंट.
Thank you, sir. It's very well said. Because in insurance, we all think that insurance means you just go and buy it. Like Vijay sir said, it's very important to understand the various fine prints and clauses and conditions, terms. It's worth spending some time, but we may not be able to understand each one of us. Consult some experts who are really good at that. So that's a very well point made. Sir, Rajesh, please go on. You had some question.
Hi, Rama sir. For any investment class, I think just when the prices are very low, be it gold, be it a mutual fund, or be it property, real estate. I think the entry price should be really good to enter in that, to invest.
See, in any of this investment, entry and actually exit is much more difficult. Entry is one challenge. Exit is much more difficult. So for the common people who do not have in-depth knowledge, the ideal thing is to go for regular investments, right? So you may not be able to time it. In addition to your regular investment, if you can time it and enter, it's well and good, Rajesh. But typically, it may be a good idea to choose very good, asset classes, and within that, very good companies or very good items, and then do it on a regular basis. That may be a good thing for people who are working and who are busy with their own career. And of course, the other important thing is to consult the financial consultants, like Karandeep was saying.
Yeah, thank you.
I would recommend, Shweta, you read one book, Mind Your Own Business. That's a very good book, basically. And it will help you to understand how a single person can generate multiple sources of income. Also, what I would also suggest is that you should have one hobby which you like, and don't run behind money for that hobby. Do that hobby wholeheartedly. And I think then sometimes the hobby can also become like a second revenue generating model for you, because you never know in crisis situation, like if your main job or your main business does not works. So one person can generate multiple income. And like what Rama said was very true, that asset is something which develops income. So even if you have put, let's say, 10 lakh rupees in an FD and it is giving you, let's say, an interest of maybe 3,000, even 4,000 rupees per month, that is your actual income, right? So you have to develop those generate. And one generating is your own self, how you can generate your income with your hobby. So you should work on those things also.
Yeah. So I want to introduce another asset class, which is your intellectual property, right? So you may come out with a patent, trademarks, copyrights, digital products. So that is another way of generating income. In addition to what Karandeep said, the book you may want to read is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert?
Yeah, that I have read already, but this mind your own business.
I think it is my mistake. In fact, I just got confused in the name. It is Rich Dad Poor Dad only.
Oh, okay.
In corporate we used to say mind your own business. It is the same book. Yeah.
Okay.
I have read it.
Okay. So yeah, Robert Kiyosaki has written a lot more books. The other book you may want to read is that, what is that? Quadrant, cash flow quadrant. Yeah.
Okay.
Rama,
Yes, sir.
something practical, if you feel okay, is not to promote my business. But suppose somebody is met with accidental injury, he or she is confined to bed or home or even to hospital, person loses the income for that period of time. Company reimburses that income up to 10 lakhs a month. This is very important. The premium is like a simple bread and butter only, simple. Other things, suppose some person has taken a loan from some financial institution for the personal loan, housing loan, car loan. You know what is the yearly premium? For 5 lakhs of monthly EMI, the premium is only yearly 41 rupees, less than a cup of, less than a idli, cost of idli. This is very much required. Suppose somebody is hospitalized for accidental injury, require the support of the doctors and the ambulance, the yearly premium is only 55 rupees from the well-known company. And suppose there is a fire in some premises, let's say this is the premises, the premises are not usable for certain period of 2 months, 3 months. The company offers the rent for alternate accommodation also, for which many people are not aware. If the premise is commercial, and suppose there is a fire breaks out, and the stocks of the goods goes into fire, company can reimburse you the cost of the goods also. At the same time, what are the profit the company has lost, and the fixed expense like salary, interest, and blah 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 can also be reimbursed by the insurance company. So these points many people are not aware. So we are doing the various consumer education series, not for sales, is only for the disseminations on the monthly basis.
Right. Thank you, sir. I know, no, insurance is a vast area, and no, they cover so many things. No, yeah. If anybody is interested, of course, you could contact Vijay sir also for the details. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yes. Any other questions? Okay, so if there is no other questions, can we move on to what we discussed last time, that we wanted to have some kind of buddy system, or kind of small group who can discuss together on goals or any other learnings. So we can get started with that. So one way is you can choose, because from the team interaction so far, you could choose whom you want to be the accountability partner or the buddy system. Then we can see the remaining, we can assign people, because whatever we are learning, we can, for example, whatever Sukhdeepak sir taught us, all those tools and techniques, are we able to capture that accurately? Are we able to follow that? Are we able to practice it? If there is a accountability partner, we can keep syncing up and get it clarified, follow it up whether it is being regularly done. So it's a good idea to do that. So you could please choose your own accountability partner and declare it now. If it is okay, then we can follow it up from there.
I think today members are also less who have joined this call, right?
That's right. Yeah. We need to include everybody, but we can also discuss in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah. So
collate this on the WhatsApp group so that everybody can aware.
Yeah.
Maybe by some numbering or something we can choose accountability partner.
See, if you know somebody whom you are comfortable with, who can really discuss with you and follow it up with you, you can choose. It's okay.
How many will be there in a group?
See, we can go for simple one plus one, right? So that is the simple and straightforward. Sometimes it also works in a small group, like 3 or 4 or 5 people as well. But there, syncing up and getting all of them together and discussion will be difficult. Yeah.
Maybe the
if you have
opinions will
one
be.
person, yeah, if it is one
That is
person, it is,
better.
yeah,
That is better, Rama, because what happens is then when two individuals discuss something, there might be some inputs which are also confidential, or maybe how they understand. That is very important. So it's even in terms of goals, there might be certain goals which you don't want to even disclose, which can be too personal also. So those things are there. So I can choose. I'm okay with Shweta because I have some inputs which I want to give her in terms of other investments and things. I'm okay to have Shweta as
excellent.
the accountability.
Yeah. So Shweta, I'm sure you will be okay with that.
Yes, of course, I'll be okay with Karandeep.
Yeah. So if that's fine. We can get started like that.
Rama, can we be buddy?
Oh, why not, sir? Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Lord.
I will learn a lot in insurance, I suppose now.
To learn lot from insurance is a very small part of the journey.
Yes.
Yeah, you are having very deep heart into the subject.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So we two are the buddies. So if you want to choose,
Ramanji, how about you? I thought of budding with you if you are available.
Oh, Rajshekhar?
Yes, Ramaji.
Okay. So Vijayji asked me, but yeah, let me see. I can also spend some time with you. Yes, we'll do that. That's fine. I think two people I can manage. Okay. Anybody else? Of course, you can discuss in the WhatsApp group. Also, Karandeep, you can put it in WhatsApp group saying that you and Shweta are the accountability partners, so that others can get formed like that. I will also put it.
Sure.
Okay, so I will send the PPT in the WhatsApp group. Anything? It will be good if each one of you can go and list out your goals the way Karandeep has done, or what I have shown, what I have done. It will be really nice, because ultimately the course we are attending with Mr. Sukhdeepak sir is Get What You Want. So it may be a good idea to write down what we want in the form of goals or otherwise. So with that, I think we can conclude today's session.
Sure. Thank you, Rama, for your time and very powerful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Karandeep.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was very insightful for me.
Thank you, Shweta.
Do we have 1 minute, Rama?
Yes, we have time. We have time.
I think for Karandeep also can join in. This book from Robert Kiyosaki, Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay, it says that you take assets, okay, and it will have a regular income. Okay, my question is now, this regular income is like 3 to 4%. Okay.
No, that is US scenario. Don't quote exactly like that. So your income should be more than your inflation. Your inflation today in India is 7% or 7.5. So your return should be more than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. That the returns are not more than that 7%. So
it can be. No, you don't conclude it is not, but it can be. That is the kind of investment you should look for.
Okay.
See, I'll tell you, Rajesh, one thing. Just a moment. Huh? So, when this pandemic took place, right? I think somewhere it started in India in March, right? And I think March the lockdown started. From March till the month of May, the portfolio which people had in mutual fund, it was reduced by almost 35-40%.
Correct.
Okay, and at a stage, I also have a good amount in this portfolio. So my financial consultant, who is he's a school-time friend of me, and he advises me like my own family. So he told me that, why don't you quit out? I said, I will not quit. He said, because my friendship with you will get spoiled in next 3 months. Or if you are ready to have that figure in your mind that it can even go to 50%, then it's fine. And at one time, I was also very upset because I just thought I have lost whatever I have made in so many years. But after June till the month of September, it came back at 40% hike. And if you would have continued your SIPs, like what I did not stop my SIPs. Yes, I definitely had reduced it because of certain salary cuts and all which we are having. But if you continued your SIPs, so what amount you had actually in March and now what you have, there is a huge enhancement in that. So my point is that patience is a very key thing in any investment, whether it is real estate or whatever, even in gold, if you see. So in today's market, I will still advise that, like what Shweta was asking in terms of plots and all, I would say that have an investment which is more liquidated because of these situations which we are facing now, right? Investments like FDs, mutual funds, you can liquidate it more better. So my only here input is that patience is very, very important if you're a risk taker also, because sometimes the situation will come. Tomorrow there can be another war which can happen. But that 3-4 months, if you hold, and there were many people in India who had actually taken out their money. So you can have rebalancing or whatever you want to do. But my suggestion is that we should have that patience at that critical moment is very, very important. And for that, what Rama said, that you should have an emergency fund. Minimum 6 months emergency fund equivalent to your expenses should be there with you. So that is one input actually, Rama, which I wanted to give, because I think patience in investment is very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, some of the stocks I know, Karandeep, from March, it has doubled now, more than doubled.
Yeah. I know stocks which have given 300% also.
Yeah.
300% return in last 6 months. So I'm just saying that you continue with your, and one more thing, if you have your emergency fund, you can build it even instead of 6 months, you can even build your emergency fund to 1 year. At least your investments will never stop. That is main important.
Correct.
And 1 year is a good enough of time to find a new job also in case you lose it.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Rajesh, just another point is you should always look at return and risk. So you should manage the risk as well. So like Karandeep said, so in equity investment, there is a risk. It will go down, but it also goes up. So you should have that risk capability.
Risk appetite.
Risk appetite, yes. Otherwise, what happens is you invest, when it goes down, you book the loss and come out, right? It is of no use. You are losing money. Okay. Narayanaswamy says that he is a specialist in asset rebalancing in mutual fund management. So if any of you want to talk to him, consult him, it will be good. Yes, obviously returns will not come in 3 months. Yeah, it will at least 3 years. We should look at it. Any other comments? Any other questions? If not, we can conclude today's session.
Then thanks, Rama.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So we'll see on Wednesday for the next session. So Sukhdeepak sir will take additional 2 sessions in place of what happened on Wednesday and today.
Hope Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Sukhdeepak is good, having good health.
Yes, he is absolutely fine. In fact, he was there in the call with me. Before you all joined,
Oh,
he was
nice.
there in the video call.
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank
Everything
you.
is
We'll
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank you,
Bye.
Raman.
Thank you, sir.
all the
Thank you,
best.
Bye.
Bye bye. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you.